Scientists recently discovered evidence of what they call a ghost population of people from our distant past within our DNA. They were something else entirely, and they showed up 1.5 million years ago, interbred with early humans, and disappeared without a trace from the genetic record.
In 1946, Japanese archaeologists uncovered haunting cave paintings, all standing beneath what experts have agreed is a hovering ship. 2 decades later, in 1965, nearly identical figures were found in Nepal's Whispering Peaks Grotto, each showing the same otherworldly encounter. Coincidence?
Well, the question is like, where did humans come from? The Book of Enoch, it says that these watchers came down and mated with human beings and created a race of giants called the Nephilim.
We're back with another one. We're diving into some of the strangest, weirdest videos on the web. Don't move a muscle. Let's dive straight in.
Lockdown has commenced.
The final transmission, we are going underground.
So, Battlestar Galactica might have been right. Ancient space humans landing on Earth, interbreeding with early Earth humans. Yeah, this might have actually happened. For entertainment purposes only and pure speculation on this study. But scientists recently discovered evidence of what they call a ghost population of people from our distant past within our DNA. They were called Population B, an unknown hominid species that wasn't Homo erectus, Neanderthal, Denisovan, Sapien, you get the point. They were something else entirely, and they showed up 1.5 million years ago, interbred with early humans, and disappeared without a trace from the genetic record. And then they showed up again 300,000 years ago and intermingled with us once more. Now here's where it gets crazy. Scientists believe that this population contributed 20% of our DNA to us, and they also likely boosted our brain function significantly. Which means whoever these people were much smarter than us, and nobody knows who they were, or where they came from, or where they went. All they left was genetic fingerprints, almost like they were visitors from somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying it was aliens, but what do you think this ghost population was? Were they Earth-born superhumans, lost to time, or just another normal hominid offshoot? Or could they have been something not of this world, engineering our development? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Mate, at this rate, we're all gonna be full-blown greys by Christmas. Big eyes, no hair, speaking in telepathy. Science basically says we weren't from here anyway. So yeah, E.T., aliens, Anunnaki, we're either aliens or aliens pretending we're not aliens, if you know what I mean.
Well, the question is like, where did humans come from? The Book of Enoch, it says that these watchers came down and mated with human beings and created a race of giants called the Nephilim, who consumed and destroyed everything in front of them. Gee, that sounds like people. Yeah. That sounds a lot like people.
Yeah.
If you got a bunch of little chimps and then you got these tall aliens, and they make a 7-foot man, a Viking, who's like chopping off heads and lighting villages on fire and has this unstoppable desire for conquest. That's humans. Well, the Nephilim sounds like humans.
Exactly. So they're not giants. We are the giants. And then what if the other folks?
They might have been giants. It's hard to say.
But what if the other folks were the Neanderthals? Well, because there was a time where we're living together, right?
Right. Well, they were here before us, allegedly.
So, this actually makes sense, believe it or not, but I've actually read that little book called the Bible, and it literally says angels slept with humans. Not a conspiracy, a fact. So angels, aliens, same category really. Definitely not from Earth. There it is. Next video, please.
In 1946, deep in Peru's forgotten Cueva del Sol Negro, Japanese archaeologists uncovered haunting cave paintings. Elongated bodies, large heads, large eyes, all standing beneath what experts have agreed is a hovering ship. 2 decades later, in 1965, nearly identical figures were found in Nepal's Whispering Peaks Grotto, the same beings, the same vessel. Then in 1978, Australia's Dreamtime Chasm, each site thousands of miles apart, each showing the same otherworldly encounter. Coincidence? Or a record of visitors humanity has long forgotten?
How are ancient people thousands of miles apart, sketching the same aliens and the same flying machines? Either they were all in the same WhatsApp group, or something was actually here. Let's find out.
UFOs are real and aliens are real, but they're not from outer space. And that's according to the top 2 UFO researchers after decades-long research. So go to Sabrel.com and
So where do they
it's
think
up there
they're
in
from?
time.
They're not from outer space.
They're interdimensional and potentially fallen angels disguising themselves because they're liars of something, like you said, can't be proven or disproven. I'm from this galaxy 300 light years away.
This is kind of what Tucker Carlson thinks. He thinks there's a spiritual element to it. And he thinks they've always been here, and he thinks that this is what's kind of documented in the Bible as like good and evil. And
That's it, exactly. I mean, that's what's going on. I mean, the top 2 UFO researchers said UFOs are real, number 1. Number 2, they're not from outer space. And number 3, they're demonic. And that's what I talk about, where it talks about fallen angels interbreeding with humans. It's talked about in Genesis 6 and creating a race called Nephilim, who were men of renown, world leaders.
So, we're descendant from fallen angels, and UFOs are demonic. And we're basically their offspring. Mate, I wish I never opened this can of worms. Does this story have a happy ending? Let's find out.
We're the only species on this planet that sunburns this easily. Let that sink in. Birds, covered in UV-blocking feathers, reptiles, scales, natural armor, whales and dolphins, specialized skin cells that literally repair damage from the sun. Even apes, our supposed ancestors, have thick fur shielding them. But us? Step outside too long and the sun cooks us alive. Why would evolution do that? Enter Dr. Ellis Silver, environmental scientist, not some internet crackpot. He proposes something that flips the whole Darwinian script on its head. Humans might not have evolved on Earth. Let me say that again. We're not from here. We were placed here. Because if you take a step back and look objectively, our biology doesn't fit this planet. We overheat easily. We suffer from chronic pain, allergies, anxiety. We need shoes to walk, umbrellas to survive sunlight. And our babies? Practically useless for the first year. There's not another species on Earth this fragile and high maintenance. This planet is a survival machine. Everything adapts, everything evolves, except us. So Dr. Silver asks, what if we were engineered? A hybrid species brought here from somewhere else? Maybe a failed experiment, maybe a colony, maybe even punishment. We don't know. But our skin, our bones, our biology, they're all whispering the same thing. You might feel human, but this place was never made for you, or maybe you were never made for this place.
Maybe we were placed here. You know, we are so fragile compared to literally every other species. And honestly, if we evolved from apes, why aren't they the ones wearing sunscreen and a new pair of Nike Air Max? Thoughts? In the comments section, please.
Over 6,000 years ago, a mysterious civilization had detailed maps of our solar system. The Sumerians created these drawings using clay. The surviving drawings show that they understood that the sun is a star at the center of the solar system and that other planets revolve around it. They even accurately sketched the orbits and positions of the planets. Interestingly, some of their paintings also depict strange images with giant entities. The Sumerians considered them to be deities. Intriguingly, some of the drawings of these gods even display symbols resembling human DNA sequences. Additionally, they had symbols related to medicine, which bear significant resemblance to modern medical symbols. To this day, we still cannot understand how thousands of years ago, the oldest civilization of mankind had such profound knowledge of astronomy. This raises the question of whether this ancient civilization was not backward, but rather had advanced far beyond our current understanding of them.
We actually covered this in our Anunnaki episode. Go check it out. What blows my mind is how these ancient Sumerian tablets accurately depict our entire solar system. Mind blown. If they knew what was beyond the stars without telescopes, who helped them and why?
In the spring of 2017, researchers began a scientific inquiry after reports of several strange mummies had been found in Peru. But nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to discover. The bodies, curled up and mummified, had several characteristics that were seemingly inconsistent with human beings. Their hands had only 3 fingers, their heads were elongated, and they had no visible ears. As the investigators awaited the results of a carbon-14 test, whispers began to circulate of an elaborate hoax. but those whispers were quickly silenced when the results came in. The mummies were over 1,500 years old, and with each subsequent test, the mystery seemed to deepen. Uncertainty filled the air as the results of a CT scan showed that the organs were still inside the body, something inconsistent with typical human mummification. It felt like things were getting even stranger when the team studied the fingerprints. The lines were straight, rather than the typical curved ones we see in that of a human. And then, in a shock twist, a scan of one of the other bodies revealed something truly extraordinary. The room was completely silenced as they stared at the scan in disbelief. It appeared there was something inside, a fetus. But were we really looking at proof of aliens? Or was there a scientific explanation for these abnormalities? The hands were unusual, but the body proportions were consistent with that of a human. The head was similar to the elongated heads already found in Peru, from an ancient practice called cranial deformation. The white substance covering the body was found to be diatomaceous earth, a naturally occurring fine white powder. After experts weighed in, they believed the pinky finger and thumbs of the hands were cut off, with further cuts made to elongate the fingers, making them look more alien-like. But how can the bodies be 1,500 years old? Experts believe the bodies were in fact ancient mummies, but ones which had been desecrated and manipulated as a stunt for publicity.
Oh, anticlimax? Sorry, people. I really wanted these beings to be aliens. Just turns out these poor fuckers had their ears and fingers cut off. Mate, that's it. I'm getting cremated. Yes, sir.
Who are the aliens? We all are the aliens, every single one of us. As a matter of fact, this planet Earth and the solar system that we're in does not even come from the Milky Way galaxy. Look it up. Earth doesn't come from the Milky Way galaxy. Earth comes from the Sagittarius Dwarf galaxy. Sagittarius Dwarf, not the Sagittarius constellation, but the Sagittarius Dwarf galaxy is another smaller galaxy that's actually merging with the Milky Way right now as we speak. And we found out we meaning astrophysicists, found out that the point in which the merger actually occurs and actually began is where Earth and our entire solar system was dropped into place, merging into the Milky Way. So this entire solar system is alien to this galaxy. We're not even from this galaxy. We're from a Sagittarius galaxy. We're not even from the Milky Way galaxy. And in 5 billion years, the Milky Way galaxy will merge with the Andromeda galaxy, making us Milkomeda.
Interesting. So we are the aliens, and our planet isn't even from this solar system. And our entire postcode is basically foreign. Makes you think, doesn't it?
There's nowhere else in the world where you'll see the absolute intricacy and detail that you will find in India. And so much so that people actually claim that ancient aliens were the ones that built these structures. And you might say, well, that's crazy talk. But if you look at these, you look how detailed, how mathematical, symmetrical, perfect these structures are, you might begin to think the same thing. I mean, were these builders of the old world so amazing that they could create these? They could carve bedrock from the top down out of one piece of rock and make this? To make braids and different sculptures and statues out of some of the hardest rock known to man. I think there's a lot of questions. I mean, look at these chains. It was all carved out of one piece. Look at these figurines, these lathe-turned pillars. It's beyond belief. And that's why so many people go back to say, well, it must have been aliens, because it's so hard for us to understand how they accomplished what they did.
I've been lucky enough to been to India a few times and seen these buildings close. There's no way these ancient builders carved this with basic hammers and chisels. No chance. Aliens build them. I'm fully invested now.
In the Petén region of Guatemala, they have just uncovered a discovery that will change the course of humanity forever. I don't know if you've heard about this, but here you can see them digging, and they come across the top of a pyramid here, and they're kind of speculating of like what it is. The writing on it, I shouldn't call it writing. It's actually a type of Egyptian writing, an Egyptian petroglyphs, if you might call it that. And apparently it shows the history of the world, but not just for humanity, but for another species that has been living amongst us. Again, this is breaking news. See now, look, here's some photos. It looks like some sort of sarcophagi under there, and then this pyramid next to it. And as they get closer, look at that. It looks like an alien being. And they called in Dr. Remy Dini, who is the world leading expert on this kind of things, to come and open the sarcophagi and see what's inside it. And I'm going to give you a warning. What's inside is going to blow your mind because it changes the course of humanity forever. As I mentioned, but this is what was in the sarcophagi. It is an alien body. They cleaned it up, got it super clean, and they put it on this blanketage. But it is a little freaky, and it's going to change the course of humanity as we know it forever. But, you know, I'm not scared. I'm excited, and what comes is going to come, and we can't control it much.
Is this legit? Because if it is, don't with me. Who put this in the show? I'm firing my producer. Oh no, wait. That's me. I don't even want to check if this is real. I mean, I'm losing subscribers by the second.
A lot of people think that the Egyptians, the Peruvians, Easter Island, that they were way more advanced what they've been made out to be. I mean, they still can't explain how the pyramids were made. They got these underground caves that they're in Turkey. It's like entire cities underground. Is anybody looking back at that and trying to piece any of this stuff together?
There's a lot of people trying to find congruencies. Can we see things in the old world and make some sort of analysis based upon what we know now and make compare and contrast capabilities? I can tell you when I was in ATIP program, several of us spent a good deal of our time looking at ancient script of human beings, whether it's ancient Sumerian and cuneiform or hieroglyphics or runes, and looking at a lot of different things because several of the UAP that we were investigating were reported to have some sort of writing on the outside, writing, runes, some sort of symbols. And so the idea was, is there a way to decipher these by looking at ancient human writing and see if there was any overlap? Was there ever a time where maybe some of that ancient script that we have was actually influenced by an external source, meaning someone saw something in the sky that landed and it had these writing on it, and therefore that inspired for them to write stuff. Any cave paintings that maybe ancient humans came into contact with something. And if you look at the indigenous people here in the United States, they talk about the ant people, right? And some of their Genesis stories talks about things from out of there. And a lot of them have very similar type Genesis stories. So one of our efforts in ATIP was to look at ancient human texts in all various forms to see if there was any correlation. The mere fact that there is writing on some of these vehicles can allow you to formulate several conclusions. One is, what do we use writing to do? Nonverbal communication, right?
I need to know if anyone's cracked this ancient script yet. Honestly, AI may be the best shot we have at translating whatever the hell this alien language is. If you want me to do a deep dive into this episode, give me a shout below.
There are live ETs on Earth at this present time, and at least two of them probably working with the United States government. Enough on that for now. My interest is in full disclosure. And my only caveat is, I think probably I would say 95 to 98% full disclosure. I know of one or two things that I'm not sure should be in the public domain, at least yet. They will be someday, I'm sure, but not maybe immediately. But just as children survive the idea of the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus when they become adult, I think that tax-paying citizens are quite capable of accepting the new and broader reality that we live in a cosmos teeming with life of various sorts.
This is the Ministry of Defense, not Barry from the local convenience store who likes a good conspiracy. This guy is legit. His name is Paul Hellyer, a man with clearance, secrets, and access we're not supposed to hear. Here's another clip from Paul on a US TV show.
During the Cold War, 1961, there were about 50 UFOs in formation flying south from Russia to across Europe. And the Supreme Allied Commander was very concerned and about ready to press the panic button when they turned around and went back over the North Pole. So they decided to do an investigation and they investigated for 3 years, and they decided that with absolute certainty that 4 different species, at least, had been visiting this planet for thousands of years. So that's, we have a long history of UFOs, and of course, there's been a lot more activity in the last few decades since we invented the atomic bomb, and they're very concerned about that and the fact that we might use it again. And because the whole cosmos is a unity, and it affects not just us, but other people in the cosmos, they're very much afraid that we might be stupid enough to start using atomic weapons again, and this would be very bad for us.
He's a former intelligence director, properly respected in his field. Check him out. It's hard not to buy into this shit when that guy is so credible. And hey, if it's on TV, it's gotta be true, right? Just remember, for entertainment purposes only. Mostly.
I think we have 3 different levels of visitation going on simultaneously. One is corporeal beings in a physical body, most likely anatomically similar to us, a bilateral bipedal organism with 2 forward-facing eyes, maybe
Do you
one
think
or 2 sets of hands.
it's what we eventually become?
It's
what they are?
It's possible that maybe we already are them. Earth could be an abandoned seed colony. Every culture that I've talked to indigenously around the planet all say they were seeded on this planet by Pleiadians or other beings, star brothers, in various different places. So
like the
it's pretty
Dogons.
interesting. Like the Dogons, the Nomo, the Hopi and the Lakota tribe, the Star Brothers. The Aboriginal elders say that they were seeded here by Pleiadians. All of a sudden, why is everybody having the same story that we were brought here? We could be genetically, I don't believe we're even from Earth, to be quite honest with you. Our psychotic rhythm doesn't even match Earth's rotation on its axis. We're slightly off. It's actually better tuned to Mars.
The Dogons, mate, they genuinely look like they're from another star system. So maybe, just maybe, they were. I've honestly always thought we were the aliens anyway. And this solidifies it for me.
Look at this video of this octopus. It's crawling over to a small hole in the corner of the boat, and it uses it to squeeze through and escape. These creatures are so intelligent that some scientists actually suggest that they're aliens. Now, they base this theory on the fact that the octopus have these incredibly unique genes. They can quickly camouflage into their surroundings, and some species can even imitate other marine life to confuse predators. Now, if these creatures are aliens, you might be wondering how they got to Earth. It's simple. A meteorite carrying frozen octopus eggs landed in the ocean about 500 million years ago. Which I know, it's crazy, but you watch them move around in these videos and tell me they don't look like an alien.
These little guys are squidgy, freaky, and definitely aliens. The way octopus is camouflaged like that, it's absolutely insane. There's something fishy going on there. Sorry. Couldn't resist.
This huge rock in Saudi Arabia is perfectly cut in half, and no one knows why. It's been around for 4,000 years, and scientists still don't know exactly how it was cut in half. Now, some have speculated an ancient civilization carved the rock in half, and others believe it was cut in half by the same aliens who built the pyramids. But the most widely accepted theory is that the rock just naturally settled like this and broke in half on its own.
All that allure and suspense, they try to debunk it at the end? No chance. There's no way this stone was cut naturally. Nope. Aliens did it.
Greys are mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth where they destroyed their version of Earth. They stopped being able to reproduce. They're dying out. And therefore they had to use their technology to tunnel into parallel realities where viable humans still exist, where DNA can be used to create hybrids to perpetuate their culture. So that's the reason that they're vibrationally and genetically compatible with us, is they're not really alien. They're mutated humans. And a lot of scientists say, well, look, aliens are going to be very, very alien. They're going to be having completely different DNA. They wouldn't be compatible with humans enough to actually have offspring, to create hybrids. But I think they've had the answer all along without realizing it. If it is true that people are reporting abductions and the creation of hybrid babies and all this kind of stuff, that would mean they're not really alien. It would mean they might be another form of human.
I mean, he sells his story really well, but where's the science? Here's the evidence part. If this was legit, it would be plastered across every single news outlet across the planet. Unless, of course, the Illuminati said, nope. And I'm still waiting for my invite, thanks.
Yeah, the only hardcore thing is that there is an extremely classified document dealing with religion about that thick. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion?
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it.
It's so far out.
All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the alien book has. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of? Containers.
Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers. And that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the container.
So this guy is Bob Lazar. And if you didn't know that, well, you're not my friend. Just kidding. Please stay, because otherwise you will ruin my watch time if you leave. He allegedly worked at Area 51. Naturally, that means he knows a lot of shit. And now he talks about humans being containers. I've seen that before. It's terrifying, and the next clip explains it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
There's some disclosure. And the darkest theory is one that Lazar talked about. He said is something that they talked to him about when he was working on these back engineered crafts, is that what they use us as is vessels for that we are souls. We hold souls, and that this is essentially a farm, and this is how they develop souls through us, and that what our soul is, I mean, if you had to imagine what our soul is some force, something that they farm here with us. When we die, it transcends and becomes whatever they are in whatever space they exist in.
That's what Bob said?
Well, after watching this, I'm convinced we're not humans, we're containers. Just one big cosmic battery farm in a skin suit, waiting to expire so our soul can get beamed up into the next avatar, or fed into whatever soul-eating machine is lurking behind the curtain. Yeah.
So the theory goes like aliens visited a long time ago. But these aliens aren't what we think are aliens. They're actually fallen angels. Now, if you can imagine, let's say there's the kingdom of heaven, somewhere we can't like comprehend. And somehow angels have fallen down to earth.
Okay.
These beings, they interacted with humans and created like children. And there's mythology all around. Like even in ancient Greece, they talk about, there's half human, half like god creature type things. And the theory goes like, the great flood of Noah's Ark?
Yeah.
When God called for the great flood of Noah's Ark, all of the Nephilim kids were killed during that flood. And then those were the ones that were like damned.
So he's not actually far off the truth here. The Bible, the Sumerians, and other cultures, they all say the same thing. Fallen angels, the gods, the Anunnaki, they came here first. Whether they made us, engineered us, or just tinkered with the settings, who knows? Next video, please.
I think Jesus was half human, half alien, and I'll tell you why. When you look at the Apocrypha text, you discover, first of all, in the regular Bible, you discover he's born of a virgin birth, right? But then in the Apocrypha text, you discover that his grandmother was also born of a virgin birth. So it seems like this establishment of a bloodline there specifically. When you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you discover that he talks about he developed the ability to incarnate at will on and in any plane that he desires. That's pretty powerful stuff. He's saying he can come back however he wants and when he wants and in any dimension that he wants. He even talks about having rejuvenation chambers, which is what I believe the Serapeum is located in Saqqara in Egypt, is one of his rejuvenation chambers, where they would actually create bodies and put bodies in these gigantic megaton stone boxes made of granite and diorite, which are still radioactive, by the way.
When you think about it, it actually lines up. If alien just simply means someone not from this earth, then Jesus kind of fits the description. And neither was Superman. I'm going off track, sorry.
Classic explanation for years, and the reason everybody giggles is because they're immediately thinking of little green men from Zeta Reticuli. Do you think the highest probability is that whatever they are extraterrestrial?
I don't think so, no. I think it's, whatever it is, it's been here a long time. So, and certainly it's been here longer than we've been civilized. So, at the very least, who really owns the planet? Who was here first? I'm not sure it was us.
Now, you're good mates with Lou Elizondo, who
Yes.
we've interviewed, who was the former head of the Pentagon UFO program. And Lou has suggested publicly that whatever this is, the extraterrestrial explanation doesn't quite explain it.
Yeah. It could explain it, but you could equally, and this is Jacques Vallée's original hypothesis that he got in a lot of trouble decades ago over, the interdimensional hypothesis, right? That whatever this is, if you...
So that's it. It's decided. We are aliens. Our planet is alien, and we came from aliens. And in the future, we'll all be likely aliens, or whatever. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. That stuff really helps the channel out. And as always, stay curious, and remember, the truth is out there. See you in the next one.